What's up, YouTube? This is Zariel for another episode of Bullshit. Now, don't get creeped out by the picture, because, I'm going to explain what that is if you haven't read the title. This is another episode of Bullshit where we tell it like it is, not the way it wants to be told. That's going to be my little the intro from now on. This is a new episode of Bullshit where we tell it like it is, not the way it wants to be told. And we expose everything in mainstream media, video games, news, politics, etc., etc. We call people out on it. And in this episode, we're going to be calling out the photos of the injuries, quote unquote injuries, that George Zimmerman apparently had. Now, this happened a couple days ago. A video was released, which is the video that you're seeing right here, and I paused it on that area. This video was released, and it said that George Zimmerman's injury pictures to the back of his head were shown. And this is what you're seeing right now. These are the injuries to the back of his head that he supposedly sustained, after Trayvon had took his head and repeatedly bashed it on the concrete, supposedly. Now, I gotta call bullshit on this, because you gotta look at it from this perspective. First and foremost, why did it take so long for these pictures to be released? Mind you, they said on the news that, they traced back the origin of the photo, and it was taken, a little while after the injuries had supposedly, happened. And that's what they said. But it's like something fishy here. Because, for one, why did it take so long for these pictures to come out? And during this whole case, they've been trying to make Zimmerman look like the victim. So, with that being said, wouldn't these pictures just help him that much more? So why are they just now releasing them? I mean, it makes no sense to me. Why would, that's just stupid. But, that. And secondly, you have people just, all of George Zimmerman supporters and all that, they're ranting on the internet. They're going around, happy as fuck, talking about, oh my God, yeah, this proves that Trayvon, Trayvon had injured Zimmerman. George Zimmerman's case, it was self-defense, and now it's legit. How the hell can you tell by this one picture that George Zimmerman's case is self-defense? You can't erase the fact that, one, he was chasing somebody with a firearm. He was chasing somebody with a firearm. When somebody is running away from you, they're no longer a threat. Trayvon was running away from Trayvon. Trayvon was running away from Zimmerman. Blech, that was a brain fart. But Trayvon was running away from George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman started chasing Trayvon with a gun. So, to me, ain't no fucking way you can, sit there and say self-defense. But, whatever. But even more so, the main thing that makes this so, odd is that, the people that are supporting George Zimmerman said that, are saying that, this proves that George Zimmerman's case is self-defense, and this proves that Trayvon actually did that. This picture doesn't prove that Trayvon injured George Zimmerman, because, mind you, an autopsy was done on Trayvon Martin's hands. There was no scars, there were no bruising, there were no cuts, there was nothing indicating that there was a physical confrontation by the description that George Zimmerman had made. Then, the person who took this picture, they didn't even bother to get his face shot, because didn't he also have a broken nose that was bloody? I would think that maybe they would have, I would have thought that maybe perhaps they would have taken that picture first before anything else. I mean, come on now, like this is the front of the face, but you know that's just me. But it's crazy because it took forever for them to get this picture out. So I'm wondering maybe they, I don't want to throw this out there, but maybe they did some type of video editing or some like photo editing or something. Yeah, like I know that's kind of far fetched, but still, you know, like you gotta think about that. Why did it take so long for them to get out some photogenic evidence when this should have been out, you know, within days after the incident took place, after the case, you know, took off the way it did. I mean, like I wonder if they're gonna release like the nosebleed photo like 1 or 2 months later. You know, like within the next month or so, like will we see his, you know, face being bloody on a picture? I mean, like this is stuff that should have been released to the, you know, released with all the rest of the evidence. But, you know, these injuries could have come from him, like just slippering. You know what I mean? Because it was raining that night. So maybe the concrete was slippery. He could have fell down and busted the back of his own head. You know, this picture does not prove that Trayvon took his head and bashed it on the concrete. Because with the evidence that's at hand, ironically, with the autopsy on Trayvon Martin's hands, there was no, you know, injuries or no type of physical confrontation. Like there may have been a scuffle, and maybe that's how he injured his head. It said Trayvon was on top of him, and he had shot him from point blank range. You know, but with that being said, that still doesn't prove that he bashed his head on the concrete because there was no scarring on his hands or anything like that. So I'm just saying, like we have to look at everything, and we really got to ask ourselves, like, what the fuck? Something is fishy with this photo. Even if you're gonna support Zimmerman, for whatever reason there is, if you're gonna support Zimmerman, you know, me personally, I don't know how you can, but whatever. You know, like all the evidence points to this just being some type of fishy deal. It really just seems like something's up. You know, it shouldn't have taken this long for these pictures to be released. But that's just me. Autopsy on Trayvon Martin's hands shown that, you know, he wasn't in any physical confrontation. So the fact that Zimmerman said that, you know, he punched him and, you know, just busted it up his nose, and it was bloody and all that. I mean, like, that's out of the question. There wasn't any fight. There may have been a scuffle, but there wasn't a fight. And also, like, it wasn't determined whether or not George Zimmerman was drunk. Because, mind you, like, they didn't test his blood. But they tested Trayvon Martin's blood. But that's irrelevant, like, to this video in particular. This is just about the picture of George Zimmerman's alleged injuries that he sustained from that confrontation, from that situation. But yeah, the link to this video is going to be in the description. And you guys can check it out, and you can, you know, like, just see the photos. Don't worry about the news anchor man. He says that the pictures were oh so gruesome that, oh my God, like you need to hide your kids, and like he was acting like that. But these pictures are just, you know, head injuries or some cuts. Like, it's nothing, you know, that extreme. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.